Okay, let's just test it out. I'm just going to test video first and audio first. By the way, if you're here, welcome to the SwiftUI guide. Just bear with me a little bit more because I need to double check that audio and video works okay. So let's just wait for this. Does it work? Yes, it does work. Hooray! So we are live and we are going to talk about all things SwiftUI. This will be your SwiftUI guide. So what are we going to talk about today? So I have created here a little bit of, let me just go here, SwiftUI guide, a little bit of walkthrough what we are going to do in today's roughly 1 hour live session here. So there will be a module 1, the app file body, pull-in views, pull-out views, module 2, layout views, ZSTACK, VSTACK, images, and text, and layout views in iOS 14 like SCROLLVIEW, lazy VSTACK, lazy HStack, and all of that good stuff. Now this tutorial, kind of live tutorial, is intended for beginners. Like we are going to start off from scratch. So yeah, if you are really new to SwiftUI or you maybe just want to kind of refresh your SwiftUI knowledge, this is the tutorial for you. So let me just start by creating a brand new xcode project. So let's create a new xcode project here. And let me just resize this. There we go. Okay, so it will be an app. So make sure that you select app, click on next here, and product name, let's see, SwiftUI. How should we call this? Let's see, SwiftUI guide. Let's leave it with SwiftUI guide. Okay, SwiftUI guide. Now the interface, you have to select SwiftUI, of course, and then make sure that you select SwiftUI app. Now, if you select UIKit app delegate, yeah, you will see a lot of extra files that I'm not going to cover here, but yeah, just select SwiftUI app and you'll be just fine. Well, basically, that's the newest way of doing it. That's what Apple recommends us to do right now. So let's click on next here and let's just drop it somewhere and onto our desktop. Yeah, I usually go and create a new folder. So code, let's create that, because otherwise it will be straight on that root folder and maybe we want to create some resources or whatever. So yeah, make sure that you do that. So let's get rid of this and of the canvas we are going to build and run. So let's just build and run for the first time, and this will just launch the simulator. And we like to use the simulator with these kind of small tutorials. It's really snappy and you don't have to worry about previews and all of that SwiftUI stuff that you might not be familiar with at this point. So till that loads, well, it has loaded. You can see that we have here just a few files, and well, basically, where does all of this start? Because yeah, you are presented with the content view, but where does all of this start? And as you can see, hello world has been printed, but it all starts in the SwiftUI guide app.swift file. And as you can see here, we have this at main. Now this means for the program that, okay, this is where it all starts. This is where it begins. And it is calling a SwiftUI guide app. So this is type of an app. It has a body of type some scene. Now you might have seen that there are more than one scenes, for example, in an iPad app, but in an iPhone app, there's only one scene, so you can leave it as it is. Now, there are window groups also. Yeah, as a starter, you don't have to worry about that. Just make sure that you know that in the window group, we are presented with the content view. Now, here is our content view, and basically, it has a body, and here is the preview. I won't talk about the previews in this, maybe next time. By the way, this will be a tutorial series, and we will go through all of the week. So from Monday to Friday, we will be talking all about SwiftUI in SwiftUI Guide. Okay, so as you can see here, we have a body and some text. Now, what does basically this mean? Well, it means that you have to start with SwiftUI. How does that work? Well, in SwiftUI, as opposed to UIKit, which was the later one, in SwiftUI, all you have is views. So everything is a view. So a text is a view, an image is a view, a view is a view. And that's why you are having here some view. So this body has to have some view. Now, at this point, well, at this point of the app, we don't really know what this view will be like. Will it be a text? Will it be a ZSTACK? Will it be an HStack? We don't really know, and we don't really care. And by the way, SwiftUI doesn't care at all because it can be of type some view. So that's why we have here some view. Everything is inside the body. Now, as you can see here, we have a text and a padding. Okay, so that's what we have here. By default, we have the hello world text centered, so that's why it is right over here. You don't really see the padding, but we will get to do the padding also. So yeah, basically that's it for our app file. Now we have talked all about the body. Now we have to talk about the pull-in views and the push-out views. Again, a little bit of extra stuff because before we are going to code, but you have to really understand all of this. Now, let me just start off with the pull-in views. There are texts and buttons. Now, if you have taken a look at SwiftUI stuff, you know that there's a lot of stacks. Now, one after below the other, one after the other, or maybe a ZSTACK, one on top of each other. Now, this requires for you to understand that some views are pull-in views, meaning that, for example, the text is a pull-in view, that it will try to pull everything, every other view around itself to itself. So it's trying to pull everything, so it's kind of squeezing everything into itself. Of course, it has its intrinsic size, the hello world text, well, the string actually. The text has the hello world string, so that's its size, and the height and the width. Okay, also, what are next up are here the push-out views. Now, push-out views are not like that. Push-out views are just trying to push everything away from themselves. There are colors, for example, or a spacer, and we will take a look at them. So make sure that you know that pull-in views are trying to pull everything through themselves, and push-out views are trying to push everything away. So let's say if we had a spacer right over here, put right over here, it will try to push that text view down. Now I've got this message that, okay, you are on the chat, but currently I can't see the chat, and this is one of my first live sessions, so apologies for that. Next time I will just jump on the chat with you also, so sorry about that. I will read on the chat and follow up on that after the live session. Okay, so let's move forward. Here we have our pull-in views, push-out views. Now you know what those are. And finally, we have to talk about layout views. So layout views are kind of the views that you can see there. So let's start off with a ZSTACK. And let me just start off typing here. So ZSTACK. There we go. And what are ZSTACKs? Well, basically they are kind of def stacks. They are in depth, so you have a front view, and then below or after that we have a back view. And here it means that let's add a color here. So color dot, I don't know, let's see, dot green. I don't know how this will look like, but yeah, there we have. We have a color dot green, and then we have a text in front of it of hello world. Now this will make our kind of background to be green. You can see here we have our background, and that is a ZSTACK. Now if we have put the text right over here, so here's the cool, let me just remove this. Here's a cool trick in SwiftUI. So if you hit Alt Command and square brackets, so those two, opening or closing square brackets, and you are also on one of these lines, or you could just select more, but let me just show you with one line. Just select Alt Command and just hit those brackets, you can move that line. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. If I just build and run again, you will see that actually we will not see anything but that green. So yeah, let's just move that back so we can actually see the hello world. Now here we have these like safe area insets, and sometimes, yeah, most of the time you don't want to have those addressed. So what we want to add in here is ignores safe area, and you can just select any of the safe areas, but I will just choose all of them. So ignore safe area. So let's just build and run, and you will see now that the green background color, which actually is a view indeed, yes, you guessed it right, is just spanning all of our screen. Now I will just go ahead and make this maybe, let's see, system background, or rather yet, let's just go with primary. Let's see how the primary looks like. So all of these are colors. Maybe primary will not be that good because that maybe will be black, yes, but I will just add in here, and maybe that could be our next up here. So let's just go and go with foreground color, and let's just go white. Okay, you could just add in there for the color white if you wanted to, but here's a good trick here, so we can see the hello world text. There we go. We have our hello world text, and it isn't that blinding. Okay, so what do we want to learn next? So here we have our ZSTACK. Let's talk a little bit about VSTACKs and then about the text. So ZSTACK is the depth stack. Now VSTACK, you might have guessed it, is the vertical stack. So what I'm going to do is just add that vertical stack right over here. So let me just move this all the way up, and let's remove that line. So now we are actually in a vertical stack. So let me just duplicate this, copying that out, and paste that in there a few more times. So now you can see that that vertical stack fills those three texts. How awesome is that? And yeah, if you just want to, yeah, these are pull-in views. Now if you add a push-out view, let's see, let's say the spacer here, we could have added a color also, but yeah, we don't want to have a color because yeah, you want to choose then a clear color. Spacers are the way to go here. So let's hit Command R again and see that those three texts are going to be pushed all the way up. Really, really nice. Let me just move this back to, let's say, white, and then to black, or let's just remove that foreground color anyway. We don't need this at this point. Okay. And just build and run. And while this runs, let's just see what else do we want to learn here. Yes, so about the text. We want to set some font, foreground color. You already saw this. Background, padding, corner radius. So let's check all of them out. So let's just start off with a font. Okay, so fonts could be like this predefined from Apple, which could be a title, or with title 2, free, a large title, caption. So let's just go with the title. There we go. Let's hit Command R again. And yeah, that will create a large title. Next up, let me just show you how you can use the actual system font size. So you just go .system, and here we go. We have style, size, size, weight, and design. I usually use this one, so size, let's say 32. And let's just build and run again. So you could use Command R, so you just build and run. And there we go. System size 32 is much larger than the title, but make sure that title is just going to be, yeah, it's system-wide, so it's preferred to do that way. What else do we have here? Foreground color. We already saw foreground color, but I'm just going to add foreground color here. So foreground color, the dot, let's say red. Why not? And while we are here, let's just add in here a bold. So just for fun, that you have a lot of view modifiers. Okay, so view modifiers are here, and hello world is bold and it has its foreground color. Let me just see the chat here. Just a second. Maybe I'm just going to add them right over here. Oh, hi Jackie, Michael K. Turkildson. I just butchered your name, sorry about that. Matt Damon. Ooh, Matt Damon. Question please. When SwiftUI will be fully supported to make apps such as UIKit? Well, SwiftUI 2.0 has been released, as you already know, and it has a lot of great stuff. Now, you might miss a search bar maybe, but that can be added easily with UI view representable, or if you want a view controller, UI view controller representable. So I suggest that you are using SwiftUI. If you are starting off, you just use SwiftUI, and if you are missing some components, then you just go back to UIKit. I have already I'm working already on free SwiftUI apps for clients, and yeah, we are going SwiftUI. That's the future. Yes, just go ahead, and if you have hate boxes, hello hate boxes. Okay, so let's move on. If you have any other questions, yeah, just let me know if you on the comments. So I just found comments with a separate computer. How awesome. Okay, so coming back here, you see these fonts and foreground color, bold. What are those actually? Well, those are view modifiers, meaning that they are going to modify the view, but they are also going to return a view. So we don't have to worry about, okay, we do want to have in the body some type of view. Are we going to have something else if I add a modifier? Well, no, because those are view modifiers and they are going to return a view. And also here, as you can see, we have quite a long line here. You can just add them in a new line. So just the foreground color red and just making it bold. And yeah, of course, the order is also very, very important. So you just, yeah, we won't see this right over here, but let me just, yeah, we will just move on and see about the padding. So for that, let me just add in here a background color. So dot background color. So yeah, we want to have a background color, but we are adding actually a background view. As you can see, when it's auto-completing, it's asking us for a view. But hey, colors are views, so I just add in here color, and I will initialize a UIKit. By the way, UIKit, yeah. So I will initialize a UIKit color. So just go and UI color dot and system, and here we have, I really like the system colors. So I will just go with system, yeah, let's just go with system teal, so to make this really, really ugly. But yeah, you will see the actual background color. Most probably I will just remove the foreground color. Yeah, so there we go. We have a background color for our actual pull-in view. As you can see, it's pulling itself in, and this is actually the background it has. So I will just choose this back to white. Okay, now let's just add a padding there. So paddings, so yeah, let's just add the default padding first. So paddings are kind of the sides, so insetting in UIKit terms. So we are just going to add a default padding. If you just build and run right now, well, basically you won't see any changes, but you see that it's kind of down, and that's because the padding has been added to the upper text, so also to the hello world. Let me just see here. So the upper hello world, which is the title, this one. And it has been added also to the spacer. But yeah, we didn't want that. Actually, we wanted to have a padding before. Let me just move that before the background. And let's hit Command R right now and see the actual changes. And actually, this is what we wanted. And now the padding is returning a view which is much larger than the actual pull-in text. And now we are applying the background, which is right now what you see, we have our padding. Now paddings are so much powerful. Let's say we want a padding of, I believe this is kind of 60-ish, so the default value is 60-ish, but let's see, let's have here 23 so we can see that whole large. So all of the sides, top, bottom, left and right. Yeah, it wasn't that much of a change, but yeah, you can see that already. So what if I just want to have a padding on top? So you just go dot top, a comma, and let's have here, let's go with 36. Why not? We have our padding. Oh, hello Sophia. How to scale up the text field? Yes, you have to have a separate font. So how to scale up text field? Oh, that's the text. Okay, so we are not going to talk about text fields today. Maybe tomorrow. So keep on watching because text fields are kind of data-driven views, and I'm planning to work on that tomorrow. So yeah, make sure, Sophia, to check out tomorrow's live stream also. Okay, so there we go. We have our top. Yeah, I was just reading the chat, but I believe that's it. Go ahead, and if you have any other questions, just let me know. Okay, so there we have our padding. Of course, you may have top, bottom, left, right, yeah, whatever. But I would just like to add in here horizontal and vertical. So yeah, there we have horizontal or vertical. Or you could just have an array. There we go, we have horizontal, but you could just have an array of these options. So let's just go horizontal and dot top. Cool. How flexible is SwiftUI? Well, very flexible, as you can see. There we go. Okay, and as you can see, it's really, really important that the order of the view modifiers is set correctly. Well, correctly, whatever you actually want the layout to look like. Let's take a look at some other. Yep, corner radius. So after our background, let's add a corner radius because yeah, that is something that it's quite hard to add. You have to add it to the layer of the UI view. It's quite hard to add it in UIKit, in my opinion. Well, for the beginner, anyway, it's really hard. I usually create extensions for that. There we go. With just one single line of code, you have a corner radius. Really, really nice. So let's just move on and talk a little bit more about images. Yeah. Before we do that, VSTACK spacing. So you can see we have a default spacing. And yeah, this is a cool trick. Now, if you just remove all of the padding and everything, and you just add those backgrounds, you will see, let me just add a background also here. So background, there we go. And yeah, just a second so you can see where I'm going at. So, and the foreground, yeah, that's great. Okay, so now we will see that the VSTACK actually has some default spacing, and well, you don't really want to have that. And what you actually want here is to add your own spacing. So spacing dot, let's say 12. Yeah, and that will fix that. That's, yeah, usually if you do want to have zero spacing, then you just add spacing 0. In some cases, you really, really want to do that. Okay, so yeah, we have our spacing covered. So what's up next on my list? And those are images. Yes, images, really, really nice. So let's just add an image right after our text here. So image. Okay, now an image is a kind of a special kind of view. You remember I was talking about pull-in views and push-out views. Well, an image, it isn't actually any either of those. You have to have a resizable size for it. So if you just go with an image, it will just present the image. So yeah, we are going to talk about that. But first, let me just start off with the system named images. And yeah, I'll just go on and open up SF symbols. Now, SF symbols can be downloaded from Apple's site, the developer's site. You just go SF symbols, download Apple, and let's just choose one here. So maybe a heart will be okay. And let me just go on and select this one and then go to edit and copy name. Okay, this is how you would just go with that string. Okay, now let's just build and run and see what does this actually do. Well, it will just add in default heart. Okay, but maybe you want to make it larger. So you just go on, and actually the system fonts are actually fonts. Yes, the system name image SF symbols is actually a font. So you just go font and just go, I don't know, large title maybe. Let's just see that. There we go, much larger. And while we are at it, let's just add in here a foreground color. So foreground color dot red. Okay, this is really nice. Okay. Hello, Ayush and Abhiram. Hi, great videos, by the way. I have a question. What is a context related to graphics? Well, context. Well, yeah, this is not kind of SwiftUI. But yeah, a context is kind of, usually you get it inside a completion. So yeah, you just get back the context of whatever you want. Okay, so there we have our foreground color, red, suit heart.fill, large title, font as an image, a system image actually. So if you do like it, go ahead. Yeah, don't just tap on that heart, just go ahead and hit that like button if you do like this video, because I can see that many of you haven't liked. How come? And yeah, while you are at it, go ahead and subscribe. Yes, you're welcome, Abira. Okay, so let me just go ahead and continue with an image, and let's just add a new asset here. And I will choose my very own super cool logo. So this is our Rebeloper logo, if you haven't seen that already thousands of times. And yeah, the main point here is that it's called logo. So let's go back to our content view and let's just start typing again. And I usually add in a space. As you can see, this is kind of one chunk of code and then an image. I have these spaces, so well, a new line actually that I can roughly see what we actually have there. So image again, and then I will just go and logo. Okay, and let's hit that Command R and see what that will bring up. And you will see it will bring up a lot of mess, but hey, this is why we are here. We are going to fix this. Yeah, I don't know that you are recognizing it, but this is just the logo all the way larged up. So what we need here is give it actually a frame. So yeah, as I was talking about pull-in views and push-out views, this isn't either of those. So what we want to add in here is just call resizable and add a frame for it. So just go frame. You can see we have a width, height. Yeah, let's just go 100, 100. Why not? Alignment, I don't really care about alignment. Let's just see how that looks like. And by the way, now, yeah, if you are coming from UI kit, this would be a huge pain to implement inside, let's say, a UI stack view and just adding it there. Yeah, and there you have it. Now you have a resizable image and it has a frame. Really nice. Okay, so what else do we want to see here? So system images and named images, resizable, we have a frame, and yeah, we can have scaled to fit. So let's see if our height would be 200. What would that be like? So again, this will be awful. So what gives? It will be awful. But we can also add another view modifier, and that is scaled to fit. Now, scale to fill, as you recall, you just fill everything out. And of course, if you have mask to bounds, then it will just cut it off. But here, in our case, we want to have scaled to fit. So it will fit the actual frame that you have given it. So we are going to come back to our, yeah, so yeah, it is just going to scale to the 200. So yeah, not a good point here that I was teaching, but yeah, now you know what scale to fit and scale to fill is. Okay, So let's just hit Command R again, so get rid of that ugly one. Okay. Yes. Hey James. Yeah, you did join a little late, but you can take a look at the recorded one. Will you make the source code available? Yes, I will make the source code available. Just down in the description you will have a link where you can access that. It will be taken, you will be taken to my site, of course, but hey, that's that. So you will take a look at the source code right over there. Okay, scared to fit. Now let's talk a little bit about Geometry Reader, because I actually want to make this image, my logo image, to be of the width of the actual screen, but I don't really know what that width is. You know, yeah, and most probably you don't really like to have these constant values. So what we are going to do is just, yeah, you could do it on the ZSTACK, but I would just do it on the VSTACK. I'm just going to call the Geometry Reader. You're welcome, James. Welcome. By the way, welcome to this tutorial series. There will be a lot more. So throughout this week, till Friday, I will be posting SwiftUI stuff. So Geometry Reader, there we go. And this Geometry Reader, it's kind of a special view. It will return a geometry. So geometry, there we go, geometry in. Okay, and let's just move all of this. By the way, if this would be a really long VSTACK, what I suggest is that, okay, you know that it's starting off from here, and just scroll all the way down till you meet the meeting parentheses. Now, maybe you are not that tidy and you have messed up all of this, I don't know. You just go Command A and Control I, so Control indent. So we are indenting it, indenting to the right position. So once you did find that closing parentheses, you just go all the way up to where you want to start, hit Command X, so we just remove that and just right over there. So now we got our geometry available. So geometry has quite a lot of aspects to it, but basically what the size of the view is, so the main view that you are encapsulating here. So we can just grab geometry. Let's go to the width. So geometry and go size dot width, and I will just go for the height also. So just copy that out, paste it in, and maybe let's just add these into new lines. As you can see, adding these into new lines, it's really makes the code really readable. So let's just build and run again and see now that the actual logo is just spanning or to the width of our screen. And if you just build and run this on an iPad, on an iPhone SE, you will see the same effect. Okay, so that's Geometry Reader for you, and a little bit of power of the Geometry Reader. Okay, let's talk a little bit about dividers. So yeah, this is just an extra layout view that I usually use. So let's just add it right over here, between those two images. So just go divider, and that's it. So that's actually, you guessed it, a divider. So there we go, we have a divider right over there. I don't know if you can see this on the recording, but yeah, there's this gray line over there at my mouse. Okay, and finally, it's time to move on to module 3 for today, and that is some views that were added, well, not the scroll view basically, but they were added in iOS 14. So lazy VSTACK and lazy HStack. Now, one thing to point out here is that, yeah, I'm not going to go in there, but you could just go with an HStack also. And yeah, but what if I have here quite a lot? So let's just see. Let me just copy and paste this logo a few more times and hit return. Command R, sorry, not return. Command R. As you can see, it's just pushing it down, but nothing really. And even more, if I just remove the spacer here and hit Command R again, you will see again a mess, because now it's centered, the stack is centered, and yeah, it's not what we really want. We want actually a scrolling view. So let me just leave that as is and just add in here a scroll view. Now you see how flexible it is. And now just go all the way down and add that closing brackets over there. And then just hit Command A, Control I. And now we have all of that indented. So yes, let's just build and run again and see how that looks like. Okay, let's just try scrolling. Pretty nice. But one thing that you didn't notice, and in fact we cannot actually notice, is that the view, all of these elements have been rendered automatically. Now, if there are, let's say, thousands here, you don't want to do that. You actually want to wait till, let's say, this last image is going to be presented actually, and then you want to render it onto the screen. So yeah, you want to use a lazy VSTACK. Okay, so let's hit Command R again and see what we got this time around. Kind of the same thing, but now it's much more efficient. And if you just add in here 1,000 images, or yeah, something that is really hard on memory, you will see the difference. Okay, let's see what else do I have here. Well, basically that is it. Let's see. Do we have any other questions? Not really. So I believe that is going to be it for today. Now, for the coming week, I will take on much, well, kind of harder topics. As you can see, they are not that hard, but yeah, you need these tutorials for you to kind of understand what's going on with SwiftUI 2.0. So I'm going to keep on posting each and every day around the same time with live sessions. And go ahead and just let me know on the chats. I just fixed the chat. Now I can chat with you if you wanted to, and I will just answer your questions. So if you haven't already done so, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you get notified of these new awesome videos. And as usual, I will see you in the next live session. Okay, so let's just finish this off.